Yeah. One. Break the wall. Break down the walls. Flip over to back. Oh, let's go.
What's up, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you out there. It is the Power Hour here on YSN. DJ Yoakley, Jeff Bezos, and Ty Bartell joins us late. It was almost everybody's worst nightmare, Ty. It was almost just me and Jeff, or Jeff and I, depending on if you want to talk about correct grammar, which Jeff doesn't do very often. But
not good.
No, not good. Not good at it. But Ty comes in and saves the day here on St. Patrick's Day. Ty, are you Irish?
No.
I don't think so. I think most of our bloodline is Swedish. I don't think we have any Irish in us. If we do, it's a very, very small percentage.
I have no Irish in me, but according to the man, the myth, and the legend, Mr. Jeff Bezos, he has Irish in him.
I got a little Irish. I'm more of Slovak, German, and like a tiny bit Irish. My grandma was 100% Irish, so that makes me a little Irish.
Makes you like 33% Irish, Jeff. That's more than a little bit.
It's a little. I said a little. I'm telling you, it's a little.
I also have Slovak and German in me, so that makes me a little worried that I'm that closely related to Jeff.
Hey, it's a good time, right? It's a good time. It's a great bar that we're at right now. I'm at a bar, so it's a great time.
Jeff, naturally, it is St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. And I want to give Jeff the floor here because he is literally the only YSN affiliate that is celebrating St. Patrick's Day in the biggest way possible. Jeff, what's it been like for you today? Has it been weird here in the COVID era?
No, it hasn't been weird at all. I went to our great sponsor, great bar, Risers, up in on Western Reserve Road, and ate some great food. I had a what was it called? It was a Reuben. It was a Reuben like with eggs and cheese and
frittata. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, I had a little bit of beer cheese and great like crab dip, and they had like a what was that? the bagpipes playing, everything. It's been a great It's been not a 4th of July. It's been a great St. Patty's Day. It's been an awesome St. Patty's Day at this point. It's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you know what? We're having a good time, and everybody, cheers to everybody else. Let's go.
Oh, look at that. The cheers. Oh, he's going to chug it. He's not messing around. Let's give him full screen. The rights. Go ahead, Jeff. Do it for YS Nation. The Bush Latte. And done. There it is.
They're building
Irish
a nursing
Jeff.
home.
That's
They're building
Irish
a nursing
Jeff.
home right next to us.
Jeff, question from the crowd. Here, Darren Miller saying, how much green beer have you had today?
Listen, I had so much green beer right today that I went to the bathroom,
Here it
got
comes.
a little scared. I was, how do I put this in a nice way? Accidentally peeing green, and I got a little scared.
What was
But
the not
someone
nice
told-
way?
Yeah, someone told me, we got this, dude. You'll be all right.
Paige says, congrats, Betos. You chugged a can of water.
Paige, your Browns will go 6-10 next year. It's not my fault.
Too much information, says Darren, about the pea and green. So, well, Mr. Miller, you asked and you shall receive. He is an open book. All right, Ty, let's... Oh, Ty's talking to somebody. You talking to yourself or are you talking to somebody else, Ty? This is wild. Ty, I don't know if Ty's talking. There's 17 games next year, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to know.
Yeah, you go 6-11 then, Paige. Sorry, and I made the mess. Sorry, I made that wrong. Okay, my bad.
What's your favorite part of St. Patrick's Day, Jeff?
The people. It's coming out, you know? It's last year we got to miss St. Patrick's Day because of COVID. And this year it's just a little bit better. You know, I got to hang out with my nephew this morning a little bit, and we got to experience that with him with the bagpipes and everything. The best part of it is just hanging out with family and having a good time. That's all that matters to me.
How long are you going to keep this rolling till?
I don't know. Until my body tells me we got to shut down for a little bit and relax. Hopefully all night. Hopefully, because a fun fact about St. Patty's Day is that the Irish people actually don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day on the day that St. Patrick's died, March 17th. They actually celebrated it the day before, and then all day today in Ireland, they actually go to church and all gather in a calm, and they do not actually not celebrate it today. Like, I asked my mom, and this you're gonna laugh because I was like, Mom, St. Patrick did what for St. Patrick's Day? And she was like, well, your grandma used to say, and R.I.P. to my grandma, used to say that they used to get the snakes out of Ireland. That's what St. Patrick's did. And I'm gonna roll with that story. The St. Patrick's got the snakes out of Ireland, and that's what it is.
Gary says, Jeff finding $25 worth of sheets in his fridge is the equivalent to a pot of gold.
No, not gonna happen today. Not happen today because the last time I got sheets and the last time I got food, I don't eat it, so I can't do it.
Ty, are you a big St. Patrick's Day guy? Have you ever gone out and celebrated? I mean, you're still in college now. I'm actually so proud of you for kind of taking the opt-out on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of not the same right now without COVID. And I don't know if you know, but Kent usually does their fake Patty's Day, and that usually falls on the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day. So it conveniently fell on my birthday this year was fake Patty's Day. But that's usually how it's celebrated up here in Kent, is the Saturday before actual St. Patrick's Day. I mean, Wednesday, I still have classes and everything, so I can't go out or anything right now because I'm lined class to class with projects and stuff to do today. So,
are you one to go out and celebrate holidays like St. Patrick's Day the way that St. Jeff Betos is?
Yeah, I am. I usually like going with certain type of crowd. I usually like going with a group of friends or something like that. But yeah, I'll go out. I don't go out nearly as often as Jeff does. But when I go out, I do go out every once in a while, and I go pretty hard when I go out. So.
Well, happy St. Patrick's Day to you. I don't have an ounce of Irish in me. I'm all German and English. So I guess happy St. Patrick. I had to wear the green, though, because it's one of the few times I can wear this beautiful Mighty Ducks Charlie Conway jersey and get away with that without looking weird. So happy St. Patrick's Day to all those Mighty Ducks lovers out there. All right, let's get to the crux of it. We tried to put out what we're going to be talking about earlier. So Mike, it's all an Irish theme today. So my question to you is going to be, who is the best Irish themed player in each sport? So this can be any sport. It could be any person that you even think is remotely a little bit Irish because of their last name or because of their features, i.e. red hair. We don't have any of our gingers on today, so we can't even make fun of them. So, Ty, who's the first person you think of when you think about Irish players in professional sports?
It's the GOAT. It's Tom Brady. I mean, I played with New England for how many years? And I mean, big New England fan. I knew Tom Brady was Irish, and that was the thing I saw while I was scrolling down earlier today. I saw that question. I was like, oh, it's Tom Brady. There's some other players I know that in like basketball and everything that were Irish that were really good. But I mean, the best of all time, you can't go get any better than the greatest quarterback of all time. So Tom Brady.
That's a great call. I never even thought about that with Tom Brady being Irish. He's got four names. I know that.
Yeah. I only know that because I think his dad or something was like Irish Catholic or whatever. I know he was raised in like an Irish Catholic household. So I'm pretty sure he's like almost 100% Irish, or a good majority Irish.
Amo's calling a shot here, saying Jeff is going to say Pat McAfee. Jeff, what say you?
Well, if we're going to stay with the Irish team, we got to go with the Boston Celtics. And it's probably going to be Larry Bird. Larry Bird had the best shot of all time. I don't know if you think he's Irish at all, to be honest with you, but he had the best shot of all time. He's the greatest basketball player of all time in my book. But it's Larry Bird. Bird got that sweet shot. He's just like, pow, cuz.
Okay. He just got that sweet shot, like, pow, pow.
He just catches. He's like, yep, this is going in. Poo-poo. Not me. I miss every shot I take.
I'm going to go against the grain a little bit here, and I'm going to say Andrew McCutchen, the MC, right? Mick. So I'm going Andrew McCutchen. To me, he's one of the best Irish baseball players in the history of baseball. Jeff, you're shaking your head no. Why?
Well, because I went to see Andrew McCutchen play. The one time I watched him play, he hit it absolutely bomb against the Yankees and still lost the game. So,
how was that his fault?
Well, because he didn't play well enough. He didn't hit another home run. He went like 1 for 4 and didn't play well against the Yankees at all.
But he hit a home run.
He went 1 for 4. Let's go for 1 for 4 here. All right.
Oh my goodness. Have you gone 1 for 4 ever in your life?
I have.
And was it a home run?
Inside the park home run hit. That's all that matters to me.
You did not hit it inside the park home run.
Yeah, actually, you want to know who? You want to know who you could? Okay, low battery. Sorry, phone's about to die. But the person you ask about that question there, El Prez, you got to ask Coach Fisher. Coach Fisher will tell you the exact story of all time. Jeff Fisher.
Fischel.
Coach Fischel will tell you the best story of all time. We're playing on Father's Day weekend, and I would never, ever swing the bat. Sorry, I got a little bit of trucks going on in the background. How you doing? Hey, what's up? I have people saying what's up to me. Sorry, I apologize. But the best story of all time is, like, I played baseball for my whole entire life. Never hit the baseball at all my entire life. But around Father's Day weekend, I used to start swinging the bat. And the one time I swung the bat, we were playing Jacksonville, and a ball hit off the rock over the center field's head. I started running around the bases, and Coach Fischel told me, I quote, to my dad, I couldn't stop the train on third base. I sent him home. Hit it inside the park, home run hit.
So you hit it, and it bounced off a rock and over the center fielder's head.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he will tell you the exact story.
How big was this rock?
How big was the center
like
fielder?
That'd be like a boulder or something in the center fielder. Because I hit the ball right back up the middle. I swang, hit good. Couldn't see the ball because I had no glasses on. I was blind as a bat. My dad was like, "You're fine." How you doing, Josh? People were just saying hi to me. I'm sorry. I apologize. I had to acknowledge that. But no, dude, like hit it off a rock, hit it inside the park, home run hit around Father's Day weekend, and my dad was like, "Best gift of all time." Jeff hit a home run, and I was like, "I never played again." I sat on the bench. He's like, "Yeah, all right, you're done." I was like, "Cool."
Coach Fischel retired as champion. He retired you.
I love Coach Fish all the time. He's always going to be a legendary person in my book.
Yeah, you love him so much you can't pronounce his last name.
It's Coach Fischel. I always call him Fischel. It's Fischel, but I call him Coach Fish all the time. He's a great dude.
But why did you just call him Coach Fisher?
Well, I apologize, Coach. My bad. I might have had a little bit of road pops. I might have had a little bit of pops on the way here. That's on me.
Are you apologizing for being so famous, Jeff?
I'm not famous at all. I won't ever apologize because I'm not famous. I'm just regular old Jeff. There ain't nothing famous about me. Trust me.
St. Jeffrey's Day. Just celebrating St. Jeffrey's Day out there. All right, Ty, anybody else from the Irish that you think would go in the GOAT status here? Oh, here we go.
Say hello.
What's going on there, guy?
Here's my buddy Josh.
Hi, Josh.
What's up, Jeff? Really?
What's happened? It's all right. We're good. I just chugged a beer on YSN. We're fine.
I feel like that's just a natural reaction to Jeff. Anybody at any point in his life just goes, Jeff, really?
It should be the slogan for Jeff.
Hey, I'm going to let you guys take over the show. I got to go. My phone's about to die. I appreciate you both. I love you both.
All right, buddy. Happy St. Jeffrey's Day.
Hey, thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Bezos. There he goes. Bye, Jeff.
Well, there we go. Here we are. we lose our comedic relief now.
And just like that, he's gone.
Another player I know, though, John Stockton is another one of those Irish kind of born players that I would consider in the GOAT status. I mean, guy led the league in assists how many seasons? And I mean, even thinking about what he did for some of those seasons, I think he averaged 16 assists in a season. Like, that's absolutely insane. And I can't even think of another basketball player in today's game that can even do that because there's so many turnovers. Defense and athletes are so much better. Conor McGregor is another one, though, too. That's one I didn't even think about, but I mean, legendary when he was in his prime.
So here's my thing about McGregor is it's not as much, like, don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter. It's not as much his fighting that has made him who he is today as much as his mouth in tandem with him backing it up. That to me, are you ready to put him as one of the greatest fighters of all time?
If you look at it, I mean, the way I kind of look at him too, he kind of like bridged the gap between like WWE and UFC because he brought in like that drama. So I would say in terms of like what he draws as far as in-crowd attendance and people buying pay-per-views for UFC, I would say he's a great because he just brings in a lot of money because people heard the name for how many years, Conor McGregor, and because he was doing a lot of this, it got them interested. So they wanted to go see the fight, they wanted to buy it, watch it on TV, and I think in terms of just what he drew as far as crowds and attendance and money was concerned, I think he's up there. Maybe not skill-wise, he might not be the greatest of all time as far as, you know, the championships and his record was, but as far as drawing, he's got to be up there, I would think.
Yeah. I think for dollar, he's probably one of the tops in UFC history. But, you know, are we ready to put him as one of the greatest fighters of all time? I don't think so, but maybe the greatest Irish fighter of all time? I think I can see that. I think I can get behind that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, I mean, just a lot of people are going to get behind him because I think he had that notorious, I don't know if it was a documentary or a movie that came out about him that I think was pretty popular. I know a lot of people I know watched it and everything. But I mean, he's got an interesting story and he really knows how to market himself as a fighter. He really, I mean, he took his personality and his charisma and his ego and he turned it himself into something bigger with that too. And not even just his fighting just by talking and creating drama, because that's what people love in sports, and he was kind of the motor behind that.
Paige saying McGregor is the #1 pay-per-view seller of all time. I think Don King would have something to say about that. I really do. And obviously that we're keeping with the Irish theme today, and I can get behind it for UFC. John Bones Jones, I think, sold a lot of pay-per-views as well with his antics, not necessarily always his mouth, but so many people were either on one side or the other. He was the John Cena, per se, of the UFC because you either loved him or you hated him. I was on the side of loving Jones when he was still going. In UFC, oh, okay, I see what he's saying. Yeah. UFC, okay, so if he's the #1 sale, and I don't know how they keep track of that, if it's just overall sales or how it's marketed or use metrics for it, but I can believe it, I can see it, but like now, what do you do? Because Dana White's in a real bad place with limited Conor McGregor, right? And I mean he's still going to make money, but I think the UFC has suffered through this pandemic probably worse than the majority of sports because of what they've had to go by. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there really hasn't been, because I mean I don't mean to keep looking at this in the sense of like professional wrestling and stuff like that, but I mean I kind of relate it to like when Stone Cold, we had Stone Cold Day yesterday after he kind of left the business. It went through that dip where no one really cared about it until that John Cena came around. I think UFC is looking for that next marketable guy to really take the brand global or make it well known again, because UFC was at a point where if you didn't even watch UFC, who Conor McGregor was. Right. If someone said Conor McGregor, you knew, okay, that's the Irish fighter from UFC. Nowadays, there's really not many notable guys, because before McGregor, I think Brock Lesnar was a big one in UFC. Everyone seemed to talk about, but now, I mean, there's great fighters in UFC, and if you're a UFC fan, you know that. But right now, there's not that big marketable marquee guy that's, I don't think, bringing in a lot of money that's known worldwide in UFC, at least not yet. They might be trying to build someone up like that, but they lost that in McGregor because of his downhill spiral he's going in, because he's just not in the fighting shape anymore. His father time's catching up with him. Let's
shift gears. Your dad has a great one here that I didn't think of. Mark McGwire. I mean, McGwire and Sosa carried baseball during that home run chase. What was that, 97, I believe? Somewhere around there?
Right around there.
96, 97. And they just, I mean, they put baseball back on the map. Of course, yes, people are going to say it was a steroid era, but do you consider Mark McGwire one of the best of all time in baseball when it comes to hitting a baseball?
I mean, you have to, because what I always said too with the whole steroid era, yeah, it gives you maybe a little bit oomph behind that bat, but you still have to make contact with a 90+ mile per hour fastball, and you got to make solid contact to send it out of the park. And I'm sorry, there's only 2 players I think in MLB history that have hit over 70 home runs, and that's Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds. And I mean, 70 home runs nowadays, it seems like that's unfathomable. Like, it doesn't seem like that's even possible. When Giancarlo Stanton hit 59, I was impressed, but I don't know if there's even been a player that's come close to 70 besides those players. And I mean, that's where baseball was at its glory days.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. McGwire, I mean, my generation, which is a generation in front of yours, Ty, will always remember Mark McGwire as a Cardinal. He was an Oakland Athletic, and who was the other team he was with towards the end of his career?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to think. I know, I mean, Cardinals and A's were his...
he was with one more, wasn't he?
Wasn't
he with? He wasn't with the. He coached with the Dodgers. Maybe he retired with the Cardinals. Maybe I'm thinking of that.
Yeah, so, I don't know if he played with another team or not, but yeah, I know he definitely put Oakland and St. Louis for sure.
All right, so here's a list. I'm going through. This is from Bleacher Report. List of the 17 most, the top 17 Irish American athletes in sports history. So this one is going to be interesting. Number 1. Immediately, I'm flabbergasted. Rick Barry. Barry is number 1, followed by Tom Brady at number 2. Which
I don't know where Rick Barry won 6 championships and had all these accolades.
Jimmy Connors and John McEnroe tied for number 3. McEnroe, I think my mom put up. I can see that.
Yeah.
Connors, okay. Jack Dempsey, one of the earliest superstar athletes in American history. Jack Dempsey, boxing legend, of course. He was of Cherokee descent as well. So, he had Irish American John Elway, and funny enough, who else put it there?
I know someone mentioned John Elway on here.
Mo said it. I see it. Yeah, John
That's a
Elway's
fair
on this
one.
list.
He was pretty good.
He was okay. Whitey Ford on this list.
Yeah,
So
Whitey.
there's people we wouldn't even think of because it's not Ben Hogan. I mean,
It's not like you're stereotypical. You wouldn't know by the name that they're Irish with some of those, like.
Timeout. Stop the presses. Stop it right now. By virtue of his mother's half Irish background, Derek Jeter is on this list. Derek Jeter is Irish. That's incredible. Jason Kidd.
That would make him what, a quarter? He'd be a quarter Irish
He's a quarter.
then.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. I honestly didn't even know that. That's
Jeff
crazy.
Bezos has more Irish in him than Derek Jeter. Think about
They're
that.
calling Derek Jeter Irish. It's just for the sake of calling someone a little bit Irish.
Jason Kidd.
That's a good one.
I can
That's
see that
another
one.
good one.
Mark McGwire's on this list, of course. Kevin McHale's on this list. Your dad had a
McHale
shot at
was
him.
good too, yeah.
Michael Phelps. Now let me ask you this question.
That's a good one.
Michael Phelps, Tom Brady, GOAT.
That's like A and B. That's like 1A, 1B right there because, I mean, what Brady's done in the NFL is absolutely incredible, and I don't think anyone's going to do that again. But how many gold medals does Michael Phelps have in swimming? I think it's not just a swimming record. That's an Olympic record, right, that he holds the most gold medals all time. That's insane. And, for me, if I'm going to go 1A over 1B in their respective sport, Tom Brady, I mean, yeah, American football is not played worldwide, right? But, I mean, Michael Phelps is going up against the best in the world and dominating for years. It's hard not to say Michael Phelps as one of the best athletes of all time. The dude burns like 10,000 calories a day.
Now, everybody knows that I'm a huge Tom Brady guy. Love Tom Brady. You are as well from his days as a Patriot. I can't take him in this scenario over Michael Phelps. I can't.
It's hard. It's really hard to. I mean, this guy's Michael Phelps was kind of like that American hero for so many years. He's always that guy you could count on to bring home the gold and just one of the top athletes. I still believe Michael Phelps can go into a swimming pool right now and still contend at a super high level right now. I really
think
do.
he can win.
Yeah,
I'm not
honestly.
even just going to mix. I'm not going to mix words. He's going to go in that pool and he's going to come out with the gold medal. It's just like you said, some of the greatest athletes of anywhere are in the pool, and they don't get the credit that they deserve. And Michael Phelps is probably the greatest athlete, in my humble opinion, of all time. Because
Not to mention, like I said, though, how many years did guys from so many different countries try to step up and dethrone him?
in his own country, not to mention.
And he's put them down time and time again. I mean, you talk about somebody that is just on a different level in the sport that they compete in, that nobody from the world can touch you. I mean, that's greatness in
And you
itself.
only get a chance every 4 years. That's the thing. Like Brady, if he only had a chance every 4 years, you take away, what, 3 of those trophies?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then he's only got 3. So, geez, oh man, he's only got 3. Like three is some like spit on it. Unbelievable. How about this one? Nolan Ryan.
Wow, I didn't even think about the fact that he could be Irish. Is he like majority Irish, or is it like one of those, like he's 16% because his grandma's mom had like
Irish American heritage. Yeah, it doesn't say anything.
That's another good one. I mean, top 3 or top 5 pitcher all time, I would say in my books. I would say you have to put him up there. Nolan Ryan kind of revolutionized the game pitching wise. I think he was the earliest guy to throw in the hundreds back in like the 80s. I think he was able to get his fastball up to 100, which back in the 80s was kind of impressive. I don't know. Yeah, he was one of the first guys to throw in 100. I'm pretty sure.
Wow. I know he was the first $1 million baseball player. I knew that.
And I mean, well deserving too. I mean, you want to talk top 5 pitchers all time, you kind of have to put him up there. He's in the top 5 somewhere just for what he did consistently year in and year out. Just come to think of it, that whole 80s and 90s, because I mean, Maddox was another good one. Glavine was a good one. The Braves always had those great pitchers, but I mean, Nolan Ryan was incredible.
Here's another one for you. I don't know if you probably have never seen this guy actually live at his craft. In fact, I'm 99% sure you haven't. Ken Shamrock. Do you know who Ken Shamrock is?
The world's most dangerous man. No, I haven't seen. Oh, I mean, I've seen him on like the old pay-per-views and everything for wrestling. But Ken Shamrock was awesome. I know he was one of my brother's favorite wrestlers when we were growing up and everything. Talking about that, but he was also UFC before he was WWE, right? Yeah,
He was.
But
Mixed martial
WWE, I
arts.
think he started making a bigger name for himself when he got to wrestling because everyone knew him as the world's most dangerous man. Then after
right.
that,
That's right. What do we got here? Sorry, I had to bail, guys. Way to hold it down. Who do we have here? Kelly Slater. Most Irish do not tan very well, but Kelly Slater is an exception. Born into an Irish mother, Kelly Slater makes the list as the top-rated surfer in the world. Not much into surfing, am I? No clue, really. I mean, I've heard Kelly Slater's name, never watched his craft, never seen what he does.
neither have I. Respect to people who can surf too. That seems like that's a super difficult sport to be really good at.
If there was one sport that you thought you had no chance at, what would it be? Because surfing's probably my number one.
Surfing and hockey are up there because I cannot skate, rollerblade, ice skate for anything, so I wouldn't even be able to do it. But I would say surfing a little bit more than hockey because surfing is unpredictable. You don't know what the waves are going to do from time to time. You don't know how big they're going to get, how much traction you're going to get on them. I mean, surfing is probably, I mean, if you think about it in depth, that's probably one of the most unpredictable sports from time to time that you're going to get because it's the ocean. You don't know what the ocean's going to do.
Yeah, you have zero control over it.
Yeah, exactly. You have practically, you're reacting essentially. You're reacting while you're on the surfboard to what the wave is doing, which is kind of insane, honestly.
Yeah. The final one is John Stockton. So good call on John Stockton. Led the NBA in assists for 9 straight seasons. Also finished his career as the all-time leader in the category with 15,806.
That's, I mean, one of my personal favorite players, probably top 10 all time, is John Stockton, just because him, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash are like the last 3 true point guards that I can think of that played NBA basketball. There really isn't a true point guard that much. Maybe Rondo. He kind of evolved into it in his late years.
I think Chris Paul could fit that.
Chris Paul's gone. Yeah. I guess Chris Paul, you could fit in that. But I mean, the game's changed so much where we don't have these true point guards anymore. I mean, talk about some of the passes that Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, John Stockton did. Like, these guys were just dishing. And I mean, they had great players on their team, no doubt. I mean, John Stockton with Karl Malone. But I mean, to be able to dish it to him at how many times and just get his teammates and create an offense with just his craft of ball handling and passing, John Stockton was one of the greats as far as team handling. And Chris Paul, I think, is very comparable to today's standards.
Clean. And that's what makes the guys like Stockton and Paul and Kidd, they were clean. Steve Nash, clean, crisp passers that really set up big plays for their team, not just ones that are you and I can do in the backcourts in New Waterford. So
what was that? I just saw something the other day too. Chris Paul's always makes a team better. Whatever team he ends up on, he always their winning percentage goes through the roof. And I mean, I think it just goes back to show how undervalued true point guards are and how much they can actually help a team. They might not be putting up 25, 30 in the box score, but they certainly are responsible for a lot of points on the back end of the assist and just creating shots for their teammates.
Yeah, I thought maybe I saw the same stat that you did, but it was Chris Paul and LeBron James were the top 2 guys that you had to respect because everywhere they went, they made their teams better. Everywhere they went, they demanded and commanded attention, and have done a great job in making everywhere they go a better place than when they got there. All right, we're going to take a break. We're halfway through, Ty. Grit your teeth, man. We're almost there. Thanks for tuning in. Obviously, a short-staffed version of the YSN Power Hour. We got today, we got tomorrow, and then we're off on Friday. We'll all be down here watching some basketball on the big screen. So we'll take a break here, pay some bills. When we come back, who is the best player with the last name Green? Also, who had the best green uniforms in all of sports? All that plus your Burbick Farms. What's your beef? What's your filet? Right here on the YSN Power Hour, brought to you by these great sponsors.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer...
6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
And welcome back to it's a short staff version of the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley, Ty Bartell with you, also known as the brain power of YSN, Mr. Bartell. You've enamored people with your, I'm just going to throw it out there, your genius in sports knowledge and general knowledge. And you've said on the show before that, obviously during trivia time, when we used to have Trivia Tuesdays before somebody wrecked them, that you're one of those, you have a photographic memory. When did you realize that you were so good at keeping track of things in your memory, especially when it comes to sports?
I mean, I kind of realized it early on with when I was a kid and I was able to, my parents had like this big board that it was like sound activated. So you press a state or you press a president and it'd tell you, and I was able to play like the quiz games and remember who's who on that. But I mean, it was also in high school because I was able to work full-time jobs while maintaining like a 3.8 GPA in high school. And I was doing that without I was barely studying like at all. I was just going in, taking the exams and getting A's and B's on it because I'm just remembering from what I heard in the class. I wasn't studying. I don't take notes very often. And it's just, I see something, I hear it, and I'm just able to recall it if I see it again, or if it comes up again, I'm able to recall it. And that's where I really started to notice it was in high school, was I could kind of get by a little bit easier. And that's why I'm able to put as much on my plate as I do, is just because a photographic memory kind of takes a load off of schoolwork and stuff like that.
One of the coolest things that people love and know about you, Ty, is your passion not only for sports, but your passion for our broadcast here on YSN. So we'll get to know you a little bit. I mean, because we don't often have the time to sit and chat with each other like this. Talk to me about, when you started YSN, did you see all these unbelievable games, these unbelievable finishes that you had, especially this year, coming your way and being on that plate of yours?
Not even close to it. I mean, it was kind of just funny going into this year, because I remember my first broadcast with YSN was with you, and it was Fitch versus Talmadge, and Chris Brown at the time, who was playing for Fitch, hit that walk-off shot. And that was my first game with YSN. And I mean, you could have just said like match made in heaven right there, but it was kind of like that night. I mean, how do you not feel, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be? Like everything the stars aligned perfectly. Like, who's going to call a walk-off shot? their first broadcast. But then it was just that, and then just expanding to trying to get to know these schools, because I never really knew. I mean, I was kind of grounded in Fitch and the AAC for a long time, and I kind of just knew those schools, D2 schools and the schools around me. But I mean, opened my eyes to like some of these smaller schools, such as like your Sebrings or East Palestines and all those schools down in both Columbiana and out in Trumbull County and everything, getting to know those schools more and getting to visit them. I mean, just to see all these great athletes, and it was just fortunate for me. I was able to come across so many good games, and I mean, I was able to know these athletes, these communities, these parents, and I mean, that's the best part for me for this season.
If you have any questions for Ty, it's Get to Know Ty Wednesday here on St. Patty's Day. But between questions, Ty, let's hit some of these banners up. Who do you think is the luckiest player in sports history?
I'll give you one. What does this remind you of, right?
Oh, David Tyree.
Right there. That was probably one of the luckiest plays that still haunts me to this day, because it took away a perfect season, essentially, for the Patriots. And I remember watching that season, and I really thought they were going to do it. I didn't think anybody in the league at that time was even going to come close to beating the Patriots, because Randy Moss was in his prime form. Brady was throwing 50 touchdowns. That team was just one of the best teams to never win a championship, I think, in football history. And David Tyree, that was the building started coming down right there. That was the play that kind of derailed the Patriots, and it lifted the Giants to winning that Super Bowl. I mean, granted, I've seen my fair share, but at the time, I think Brady only had those 3 too. I mean, yeah, you say it. I mean, he had a dynasty early on, but it hurt because it seemed like he was going to get a lot of rings really early on in his career. But those damn Giants, man, 2007, 2010, could not get one player that he couldn't get past. Was the Mannings was always the player he had so much trouble getting against, was Brady.
It's funny you talk about the undefeated season. Do you think there will ever be another team to go 17 well, at this point 17-0?
It depends, I guess. You would need it takes a little bit of luck and a whole lot of skill to be able to pull off an undefeated season in football. And I mean, you would need to come away with some no-name draft players that kind of turn into big time. That's kind of why it made sense for the Patriots to do it, because Bill Belichick's a wizard in getting these undrafted players and turning them into Pro Bowl talent. It's going to be hard to do that because the talent level in the NFL is so great right now. It's not like the Dolphins when they went undefeated, because the game was a little bit slower. Everything's so fast and everybody's a super athlete. It's hard to really win that many games, and you see how hard it is to win one game in the NFL, let alone go the perfect 18-0 run, including a Super Bowl. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's possible. I mean, I don't want to say anything's impossible, but I think it's highly unlikely, more unlikely now than it ever was before.
I'm going to give you 2 players. You tell me if they qualify for being some of the luckiest players to ever play the game. Number 1 is Robert Horry.
Yeah, you kind of Robert Horry. I mean, it's an interesting story with Robert Horry too. I mean, he played 16 seasons. He was on that 60s Celtics team that won how many championships too? I mean, just to be around the team that he was at the time too.
Well, no. This is Robert Horry, like the guy who played for the Spurs and the Lakers. The early thousands. He was on the team with like Tim Duncan.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but I mean, again, in that same sense too, it's kind of like he was just bred to be around all this talent. I mean, he kind of got bailed out because I mean, he played then. Robert Horry, the Spurs with Robert Horry, he played. No, he didn't play with the Admiral because the Admiral retired a few seasons prior. But I mean. Yeah, I would say, yeah, pretty damn lucky. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the one thing I wanted to say about Robert Horry, and I can't. It's slipping my mind right now. But I mean, the team he was on was absolutely incredible.
Robert Horry, because Quinn's a big Robert Horry guy. Anytime you talk about rings, he brings up Robert Horry. Played 16 seasons. You nailed that one. Let's see, what else did he? What do we have here? He was the first Houston, Toronto, Phoenix, the Lakers, and then finished out with the Spurs.
And I mean, I know he had a lot of game winners too. But yeah, what Michael Page said, played like maybe 15 minutes max in all three of the finals. I mean, kind of like what I was saying. He was good because of the team and the coach that was around him. And I mean, you won't ever hear me argue. Greg Popovich is my favorite coach of all time, and I'll put him in the top 3 right by Phil Jackson. You know, I'll put him right there with some of the best coaches of all time. I think what Popovich has done, how many winning seasons the Spurs have had consecutively is absolutely insane. And another graphic I just saw recently, I think they said that the Spurs could literally lose every single one of their games for 10 straight seasons and they would still have 400. They would still be 400 wins above 500 all time. Every game for 10 seasons, they could lose 800 plus straight games. And I mean, that's just the culture of the team. And I mean, you know, I think Tim Duncan too is one of the most underrated GOATs of all time. I think he is one of the top 10 basketball players all time, and I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's done. So I do think Robert Horry kind of reaped the benefits of what Greg Popovich built with Tony Parker and Ginobili and Tim Duncan. I really do.
Paige was saying James Jones. His first comment, I think it popped up just late. He said his first comment didn't go through. So James Jones he says, played like 15 minutes max in all 3 of the finals, who he won rings from. Ori. They used to call him Big Shot Bob, right? That was his nickname.
He was known for those clutch shots. He would make those big shots when he needed to.
So you guys share a nickname when it comes to that. You're Big Shot Bart or Big Game Bart. So all right. So that's one. Who was the other one I was gonna? The running back. Oh man! Last year he won it with the Chiefs. This year he won it with the Bucks.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
The Philly phenom running
McCoy,
back.
right?
Yes,
LeSean McCoy.
Yeah. Tell me he's not one of the luckiest players in the NFL.
Lucky from just the standpoint that he hasn't had any major serious injuries, and he's been able to play running back, and he's in his 30s, mid-30s, I think, right now. That is insane. Any running back that I think has a lifespan of 10, 15 plus years in the NFL is absolutely insane. And I mean, I don't know if there's any kind of conditioning you can do because injuries just happen. And I mean, that is just pure luck. You're just lucky you're able to play at a good high level and, you know, put in some solid drives and some solid touches for your team. But not to mention, you just were on 2 straight Super Bowl teams transferring back and forth. That kind of reminds me, too, of like Ben Zobrist when he went from the Royals to the Cubs and won back-to-back World Series with them, too, just because he got traded. But, I mean, some players, man, it just kind of falls into their lap. And, I mean, the situation that they're put in is just better than most. And, I mean, that's kind of what's happening with LeSean McCoy. He just always finds himself with one of the best teams in the league.
But I feel like Zobrist was a bigger contributor than LeSean McCoy was.
Absolutely. Zobrist was probably one of the big reasons the Cubs won that World Series, because I don't think the Cubs win the World Series without Zobrist in 2016. But no, you're absolutely right. McCoy's kind of that. He's just kind of that third down back. You throw him in, he gets some touches in between what Bell at the time. Well, not Bell, that was the Chiefs, but I mean Jones Jr. and Fournette for the Bucks this year. He was just he was there. He broke up the touches, gave some guys rest, but I mean, got a ring out of it. So
yeah, he was low impact and he high reward with the Tampa Bay Bucks this year. Did he even get in a Super Bowl play this year?
I don't think he did. And if he did, it was maybe a play or 2 he was in, and he might have been like the second black back, and he just had a blocking assignment. I think that's probably all that he played.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, you look at Horry, 7-time NBA champ, and it's always Quinn's go-to. So if you're ever in an argument with Quinn about who's the GOAT, and you say Michael Jordan, just be ready, because he's going to say, what? Because of the rings? Because Robert Horry has 7 rings.
But Robert Horry, did he contribute the amount that MJ did to the Spurs?
Listen, you know Quinn, you can dice it up as thinly sliced ham from Arby's that you want, and he is still just going to throw it against the wall and tell you that you're out of your mind, because there's only one GOAT in his eyes, and he's still playing, and he plays for the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, let's go. Well, and I'm sure there's someone, Michael Page, that'll probably agree with him. Trent Dilfer, could he be... Yes and no.
I agree with you on that.
Dilfer managed. You know, people will joke about Trent Dilfer, myself included, winning a championship, but he managed those games. You know, he was obviously not supposed to win them, but he managed those games. It wasn't like he was a terrible quarterback. He was never terrible.
No.
It was just he managed the games and let his defense win them. So
exactly what you said, and it's the same thing with the other Ravens Super Bowl win with Flacco. I don't think Flacco played bad in that at all. I mean, he did what he was supposed to do to win, and the defense again carried him. And I mean, sometimes that's all you got to do. Just do what you got to do. You don't need to make the spectacular play. You just need to make the right play at the right time, and just like you said, just manage the game to get a victory.
Oh my, Paige, you're about to be banned.
Baker Mayfield, he's already starting on it.
Oh, jeez. All right, and then finally here today, real quick, we'll go over this one. Favorite green uniform in sports.
When I saw this one, my mind wants to go to the Celtics just because it's iconic, it's classic. But I really like the Oakland Athletics uniforms.
You stole it.
I like the green one with the yellow across it that just says Athletics. I like that color combination. I know a lot of people too are going to say like the Oregon Ducks. They love Oregon's uniforms too with the dynamics between green and yellow. But the Celtics are iconic. But personally, I really like that Athletics uniform. I really do.
All right, if you're going to steal that one, I'm going to go Seattle Sonics. We talked about them yesterday, but the Sonics uniforms to me are still one of the best in basketball history. So classic. And I'm talking about the ones that had the Sonics across with the green and gold, not the weird cartoon comic version of the Sonics. Although I did think those were pretty cool because it was the Rain Man and Gary Payton, the glove. We're wearing those, so I can get behind those. But the Sonics original ones are pretty awesome. Seahawks?
I like the Seahawks. I like it when they're wearing the navy. I don't like the neon green Seahawks uniforms as much as I like the navy with like the green blended in a little bit.
Can you go wrong with West Branch Warriors? Yeah, I'm with you on that. I like the Warriors unis.
If I was going to go local, I was going to say either them, but I also like Ursuline's uniforms too. Ursuline has some clean uniforms. They really do.
Let me tell you what, those Ursuline black uniforms with the green and gold trim with the shadow Irishman on the back. Oh, those are the best. Those are I will, and I tell Coach Kernan all the time, those are the best uniforms around. Pure and simple, done. Those are the best. And other teams are starting to jump on that track, and it's not that they're the black uniforms. It's just how they're sublimated and very, very, very well done. So I can't wait to talk about baseball and softball uniforms. Those are my favorite uniforms across the gauntlet. So
they're baseball and softball gives you that room to kind of be unique with it too. You could kind of get really creative with the way that baseball uniforms look and how you could change out the hat with like the pants and the shirts. I really do like the dynamics baseball uniforms present.
I love the white pants with a dark color jersey on top. Like my favorite. Just looks clean. You know what I mean? Especially when it's like game 2 of a doubleheader and you just wore your whites, across for the first one because it's hot in the daytime, and then you go into the back half of a doubleheader. You have those clean white pants with the solid colored jersey top, darker colored. It's a beautiful thing.
There's so many uniforms in baseball I like. I mean, we talked about Oakland, but I mean, the Dodgers also have a really good one with that blue with the red number on. That's a really clean uniform. I like some of the I like Pittsburgh's too, where they have the all black with the yellow P over that. I think that's a clean, sharp uniform too. I think baseball uniforms, I feel like, are always some of the most creative looking ones that you'll see out there.
They have to be because you're playing 162 games. You're going to get bored playing in the same uniform 81 times a year. So I'm glad we made it. We made it to the G Burbick Farms. What's your beef? What's your filet? DJ Yoakley, Ty Bartell here. Ty, take it away, man. What's your beef? What's your filet? Take as much time as you'd like.
Well, I mean, we're going to look at a filet. Got a chance to go out and interview some more softball coaches yesterday. We went out to, I believe, both LeBray, and then we went out and we saw, before LeBray, who was the other team I covered? Oh, no. It was supposed to be Newton. Oh, Jackson Milton softball. That's right. So I went in and I talked with both those coaches, and we had good conversations for our headed home program. So I mean, got to see more coaches, kind of talk with them a little bit about their programs. I think it's a great thing what Billy Mack and Quinn decided to do with this whole project. I think is really awesome, because I mean, I've been watching them too. He kind of gives you that insight on the baseball teams in the area that we might not really know much about beforehand, but now you can kind of see the coaches, see where the strengths lie on the team, see where their biggest competition is going to be going forward, and what they need to kind of fix up to be really successful this season. But I like that insight of us kind of looking at these teams in the area. My beef is just because I had to start thinking about David Tyree again with the luckiest players in sports. So that's going to be in my mind, and I'm going to be a little bit upset about reminiscing about the 2007 Patriots losing that Super Bowl again. But that's my beef. But also, I mean, it's great weather out right now. St. Patrick's Day, weather's warming up, baseball's around the corner. I've said it time and time again on this show, but just really makes me excited for that warm spring and that hot summer weather, and some nice baseball coming around the corner, both professional, local, college, all of it.
You know, it's funny. I had a conversation with Mark Roth today, who is a huge supporter not only of YSN and everything we do, Ty, but he's a huge supporter of you, and loves your calls, and asked me point blank, how many games are we covering for Austintown Fitch this year? And I said, Ty will be at every single home game for the boys baseball program, and he was overjoyed, excited about us. And there's a relationship we're working on. Actually, I have a meeting tomorrow that we're going to be touching base with them, and big things to come here at YSN. And Ty, again, I know I gave a shout out yesterday on social media to Quinn and to Billy for what they've done with Headed Home, because it's been fantastic. Steve's been doing a fantastic job with these interviews. But you, my friend, you have been overdrive since the day football started, same kind of boat that I'm in, and you have yet to hit cruise control. So on behalf of everybody that watches YSN, thank you. Thank you a million times over for your dedication and your service to the communities, the schools, and of course to our company here, because without you and without the rest of the team here, man, there's people that aren't getting their sports, and it's guys like you stepping up into big roles that this is the reason it happens. You know, this is the reason it happens. I'm just the figurehead. You know, you guys are everything that makes it, and you're a very big part of this company, this program, and we're going to keep you as long as we can until somebody comes and steals you away for a boatload of money. So thank you for that, and thanks for jumping in on with Billy and with Quinn and helping out with the northern schools, the Trumbull County schools, because we appreciate that, because we can't, obviously it's a heavy lift, and you're taking your flag, man. You're going to plant it. So thank you very much. My beef is going to not necessarily beef, but again, like, people always hit us up, Ty, for stuff we don't necessarily do. And like, there was a couple weeks ago, there was, we and other media entities don't cover enough wrestling. We and other media entities don't cover tennis. We don't do that. I got, first and foremost, I have to let you know, if you don't know already, that we have contracts with schools. If your school is not of contract with YSN, it puts us in a really precarious, I'm going to pick a different word because that's too hard for me, a really tough spot. Because if we cover, let's say, baseball for your school and we're not contracted for the rest of it, parents get upset. Students get upset, and the board would get upset, I would imagine, as well. So before you send us messages, really nasty messages sometimes, and really nice messages others, ask yourself or ask your athletic director, are you represented by YSN? Have you signed a contract, whether annual or a continual with YSN? Because that's the first step. And once we get that going, then we can do some good things and some things we really feel are good for the student athletes. So if you haven't, or you don't know if your school has signed or your organization has signed with YSN, then you need to ask the person in charge, whether that's a superintendent, whether that is a athletic director, coach. It's a good place to start as well. A lot of times they're going to know. They're going to know right off the jump, and they'll know why, one way or the other. We're not pandering for it. We never have. We always thought that we have something to give, but we're taking some heat right now because we're not doing this team and this team and this team. But the reality is either your conference or your school has to sign up with us to get what we do, because we have to pay our guys, and we're not going to we're not going to take our eye off the ball, so to speak, with teams and organizations that have bought into what we're trying to do here. So that's the crux of it. The other side of it is we want to get as big as we possibly can. We want to cover your kids. We want to cover your organizations, your schools, and that's the honest to God truth. That's what we want to do. You know, I'm kind of in a weird place right now with one of my stories. So I want to make sure we're there. They haven't, but they need to get on the ball, says Brandon McPherson. Yeah, I'm in that same boat. I mean, obviously we believe in it here a little bit. You know, otherwise we wouldn't be doing this on a daily basis. We wouldn't be showing up with just Ty and myself on St. Patrick's Day talking about green things, lucky things. But we do it for you. We know it's a break for you, whether you're at work or whether you're at school or waiting something out or waiting for a daughter or a son in the parking lot for practice. We hope that we entertain you, and we hope that we can continue to grow as we have the last 3 years. And there's more Ty Bartells out there. Maybe not the same, but maybe not cut from the same mold. But we've got great guys like Ty that'll train you up and do the right thing. So, Ty, thank you again. We appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by on St. Patty's Day. Happy St. Patty's Day to you, buddy. And we will see you tomorrow right here on the YSN Power Hour. Until then, we'll see you. So long, everybody.